Week in Habs Land. I am Brian, and I will be flying solo for the first part of today's podcast as Jordan has been called out on an all-secret government mission, something about lizards, I don't know. Jordan and I did, however, pre-record our Habs Holiday Wishlist segment, one that we do every single year, where he and I go back and forth and give out presents to the members of the Montreal Canadiens. So that will be the second part of today's episode, so stay tuned for that. Until then, I'm going to jump into part one and look mainly at the changes taking place within the Canadiens roster. And as you could probably hear in my voice, I'm a little under the weather, so it's going to be short and sweet. So here for part one, the Montreal Canadiens, they went through a lot in the past few days. On Tuesday night, they went through a paddling at the hands of the Lightning, losing 6-1. And then a lot of changes came immediately following that loss. Jacob Fowler gets called up, plays his first couple of NHL games. We got a scary new offensive D pairing in Hudson-Dobson. And then Adam Engstrom and Owen Beck are back. But by far the most compelling storyline was that first one. It has been Jacob Fowler's NHL debut for sure. He won in Pittsburgh in his first NHL game, as did Dryden, Roy, and Price in their first NHL games. Coincidence, good omen, call it what you want. But it did captivate all of Montreal for a nice couple of days. In that first game, he was excellent. Fowler was really good. He was tracking pucks calmly. He moved deliberately. He was freezing the puck really often to give the tired Habs a breather or a line change at times, which sometimes they desperately need, especially long change second periods. Jacob Fowler was every bit as good as I thought he could be at the start of his NHL career, and then some in terms of his game management. A 21-year-old doesn't usually step up and control the game from his crease right away, but Fowler started doing that right from the get-go, and I think he really showed that he has a high ceiling in this area. That's something that's just going to keep improving as he understands the pace of play in the NHL. On top of all that, he was making difficult saves look very easy with minimal movement and really great positioning. So overall, a great performance in Jacob Fowler's first NHL game. And in Pittsburgh in that game, the team also had his back. Josh Anderson, he made 2 straight blocks back-to-back, 2 of his 3 blocks in that game. He led all forwards. And then later he made a diving breakaway denial. Matheson, Hudson, and Dobson on the back end. Those 3 defensemen combined for 13 blocks. Nick Suzuki was great. He was back on the penalty kill, which, sidebar, as soon as Evans is not an option as the number 1 penalty killing center, Nick has to step in. He just has to. It's a standard for Martin St. Louis at this point. Use Suzuki literally wherever you need him, and he will likely be the best option there. The penalty kill with him, without him, it was pretty great. They only gave up 1 on that 6th opportunity there at the end. Obviously, Fowler, he made some really key saves in all of those kills, but the unit itself was solid, as was the whole team. The most clutch save of the night, that was made by Lane Hudson. When there was 1 minute left in the game, Hudson made a beauty of a glove save while Fowler tried to get back in net. So I really think the team helped him greatly, and he played an excellent first game for his team. And that run support, the key saves, just in combination, it was the perfect game 1, I think, for a young man's career. And that was game 1. Now, not every game can be a win for your team. That would be, that would defeat the purpose of the sport. Unless you're the Harlem Globetrotters. But game 2 for Jacob Fowler, the very next Habs game, was a tough one. The Habs let go of the reins, and some timely calls, opportunistic attacks, those helped the Rangers come back from a 3-goal deficit, and they won in overtime. So from 3-0 to a loss in overtime, you don't love that. I thought that Fowler still looked good in this game. The Habs really, I don't think, had his back as much this time. And to me, that was the difference. That's all it took. A bunch of low slot shots, one-timers off of seam passes, some fire alarms in front of the crease. These are high danger scoring chances that beat the best goalies in the world. So don't look at the save percentage and think Fowler played poorly. Not to mention 1 penalty shot goal and 2 power play goals. Those are the difference. Those 3 goals were the difference in the game too. You can't blame him for those. The Habs won 4-2 at 5-on-5. So yes, they did lose a big lead. They got pummeled in special teams, but at least they got the loser point, and I guess some of them can feel good about their 5-on-5 game. I say some because, among others, that second line, they had a lot of trouble in New York. The 3 of them averaged to about a 20% Corsi versus the Rangers. Not good. But Martin St. Louis is kind of in a bind right now, where he's choosing to balance out the top six and lose out on a very effective first line by sending Slavkovsky to play with Demidov and Kapanen. And then he brings Bodzik up to play with Suzuki and Caulfield. The problem is the second line doesn't look good consistently, even when Slavkovsky joins them, and the first line just isn't the same without Slav. Lower down in the lineup, we're seeing some pretty good play, I guess, some pretty clean play from Owen Beck, not a lot of mistakes, who also got robbed of his first NHL goal by all of our favorite things in the world, the offside challenge. Poor kid. He really deserved one there. Despite being kind of a guy with not a lot of experience, one of the least experienced players in these games, Owen Beck did not look out of place. I enjoyed seeing him in his natural center position too, for a little bit at least. It's clear that he's more comfortable there. Adam Engstrom, by extension of that, he did not look out of place either. In my opinion, he was put with Struble and then with Jackeye and then back with Struble. And with these guys, he had to be very solid to not give up chances. And I thought that those pairs did pretty well for the most part. Hudson-Dobson is another new pairing. And damn, were they ever dominant in Pittsburgh. This is a pairing that really could work. It's not something that I had considered that strongly when Dobson came over, simply because offensive guy with defensive guy. It's how it's sort of always been. What I didn't consider was putting two offensive guys who are also really mobile, good in transition, and who are effective breakout players means that you just control the entire game. And that's the potential here. I'm not saying that they're at that level, but if their chemistry grows and they end up playing very often with the top six, that's when we could start to see some really dominant five-man units that control the pace of play, control the game in general. And you pair that with a really poised and calm goalie who also, controls the play. That could be a dominant six guys on the ice for the Montreal Canadiens very soon. And so after all of this changing and uncertainty and difficulty, the team closed out the week back at the Bell Center on Sunday night versus Edmonton. This game just finished as I was starting to record, so it's still quite fresh. It was a very energetic affair. It did not look like two teams on the second night of a back-to-back. Dobesh was back in net. Jarry was not. Probably the right call after the Habs scored 4 on him a few days prior. Just after the 6-minute mark of the first period, Habs give up a 5-on-3 power play. Kapanen and Slav are the culprits on the very same play. So the Edmonton Oilers, who, by the way, they have, who is it, McDavid and Draisaitl? By the way, they get the ever-elusive 2-minute, two-man advantage. No goal, though. Dobesh was a wall during this kill. He made many great saves. First period ends 0-0. Early in the second, Demidov draws a penalty, scores on the ensuing power play, 1-0. It looks for Demidov like the shoot more message has finally sunk in, which is phenomenal to see, especially after the goal. It emboldened him, and he shot a ton more than usual, mainly on the power play. I really think he should continue to shoot more. He's a good shooter, and we saw that rip up high on Pickard. Like that was a clear example of this. If he can develop his shooting, if he can become more confident with that shot, he'll finish plays as well as he creates them, and that's a dangerous combination. The 2-0 goal was then hilarious, the blunderiest of blunders from generational talent Connor McDavid, who makes a blind pass to his own team slot. Kids, watch closely. Don't do that at home. That blind pass was picked up by Veleno, and he hit the top corner with a strong wrister within a second of receiving the puck. Suzuki then scored on the power play. Slavkovsky hit him with a perfect shot pass on the doorstep. This made the game 3-0, which, as we all know, is the most vulnerable lead of all. Thankfully, they would not lose it 2 nights in a row. Hyman, with a rebound shoveling, makes it 3-1 on the power play. But very soon after, Texier, relentless in the neutral zone to cause a turnover, and creates his own rush chance that he then scores on. 4-1 Montreal. That's how it ends. This was a phenomenal game for the Canadiens, and especially for Dobesh, who was awesome. It's weird. Something has definitely lit a fire under Jakub Dobesh. I wonder what it is. So all in all, the Habs go 2-1-1 this week. 5 of 8 points is good enough, and we're learning lots more every single game about this young core and the prospects who hope to enter it. On that positive note, let's jump now to part 2 of the episode. Here is our Habs holiday wish list.
One of our longest traditioned segments now. I think it's the 3rd year at least, if not 4th. I think it's the 3rd year we've done this. I'm forgetting now. We are doing our holiday wish list, that time of year where we thank our Montreal Canadiens and get them the most irrelevant, useless gifts that millionaires can get or want, quite frankly.
Yeah, that's just
So-
it. We're getting gifts for people that don't want for anything. So we got to be a little creative.
It's not the dollar value. It's the thought that counts here.
Yes, as always with gifting.
Yes. So I'll start us off with one that I've had written down for a good 6 weeks. It's, if not longer, it's probably been since at least late October that this one's been down. Had it in the gift cart or the shopping cart, and it's an easy one. So I am getting Ivan Demidov and Lane Hudson mini sticks, since these two guys on the road are roommates, and I'm sure like they're always talking puck and watching video. I mean, mini sticks in a hotel, like it's kind of a rite of passage. I'm sure Lane Hudson's had them in the past. I don't know what the Russian traditions are, but mini sticks will cause a ruckus. It'll definitely wake up Nick Suzuki in the middle of the night, and he'll go into the hallway and yell at them.
Yeah.
Or it's probably more of a Gallagher Evans thing,
Right.
you know. But yeah, let's get those hockey crazy guys more hockey stuff.
I love that. Yeah, while you're at it, I mean, rather than disrupting everyone else's sleep, why don't we get them all like noise canceling headphones too? And that way Hudson, Demidov, who are full of energy anyway and probably don't need sleep that badly, can play all night and not disturb anyone else.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I have tons and tons to give out here. Brian, what do you have? Yeah. We can go back and forth for a while.
I got a bunch as well. I want to start with Mike Matheson. Just signed a contract here.
Okay.
Love our Point Claire boy. One thing that I think is getting his goat lately is all the broken sticks. I recall the Winnipeg game where he broke 3 sticks in the same game, one of them leading to a goal against. So I'm getting for Mike Matheson an aluminum stick. Do you remember these? I had one in the late 90s when I was a kid into the early 2000s, and just an excellent stick. I'm only getting him one because he will not need another. Those things do not break. So Mike, might not be the funnest gift in the world, and you will have to get used to a weird cold stick in your hands. But buddy, those broken sticks, that's got to stop.
Yeah. I mean, as quite a few guys, I can think about that being a gift for them. I mean, I think more generally speaking, like to me, it's sometimes these guys, I mean, Matheson's done it a couple times too this year. They just drop their sticks sometimes. And it's not even like I was slashed on the hands. Let me make sure the ref sees me. I've dropped my stick thing. Sometimes
Right.
you're just kind of it's a klutz move and you're dropping your stick.
Yep.
But I think it's a great one for Matheson. Great idea. Good gift. I am going to stick with one of our defensemen. And this one's a bit on the nose, but we're getting some bubble wrap for Caden Gooley.
Ooh, ouch. Yeah.
Listen, it's been tough that he's been gone most of the season at this point. I think he's only suited up in the first 5 games of the season, if that's correct. That's the last time I looked at it. And, it's just the guy we want to see. I got a couple gifts for some of the injured guys, and I couldn't think of something more thoughtful for Gooley, sadly, other than like, please stay healthy, protect yourself at all times, and come back sooner rather than later. And I want you to stay healthy. Get some bubble wrap, and especially Montreal winters there. I mean, like the ice will get you. So let's be safe. Let's not have a Jack Hughes situation. Gooley's already getting hurt when he's on the ice. We don't need to have to worry when he's off the ice as well. So let's just, take it easy with Caden Gooley.
Yeah. I think obviously the bubble wrap, it's a bit, but the sentiment is like, stay healthy, dude. We need you so badly. So I also have a similar one. And this one I had envisioned for Caden Gooley and for Jake Evans. And this is more of like less of a like, oh, an impact is coming. Let's protect him with bubble wrap. This is more to avoid the impact altogether. So I found weird how I found these, but there's these clips that you can clip rear view mirrors onto your shoulder pads. Because for whatever reason, those two dudes turned their back at the last second. Jake Evans has had concussions. Gooley's been hurt. I hate seeing those guys get hit. So rear view mirrors that clip onto your shoulder pads.
Okay. I like that. That's good. It's safety first. And that's what we got to strive for. I did have the idea of steel toe shoes for Alex Newhook.
Interesting. Okay.
To go along those lines. I did change it last second though, right before we started. I'm going to make a supercut of the best Rocky and Creed training montages.
Ooh.
For Alex Newhook. So not Apollo Creed, Adonis Creed. So that's Michael B. Jordan's character. When he's underwater boxing by himself, there's obviously the 2 famous Rocky ones and Rocky 1 and 2 running through the streets of Philadelphia. Second one with a lot of people behind him. Of course, in the first Creed movie, there's the one with the ATVs. just like let's get a really good mashup. There's the one in when Rocky's getting ready for the Ivan Drago rematch. Let's Alex Newhook is going to come back. It sucks that he's gotten hurt in what was becoming his best season, his potential breakout season. It was too soon to really say that, but all signs were pointing towards that. Once he's ready to get back in the gym, let's give him that proper motivation. Let's make a nice training supercut. So that's what I'm getting for Alex Newhook.
Very nice, man. Nothing pumps you up quite like those montages. All right, I'm going to jump to my Sam Montembeault gifts. I have 2 for him. The first one is a Where's Waldo book because it's going to train Sam to see through a crowd. As we all know, that's his weakness, right? That's his Achilles heel is point shot. I mean, he's had a few Achilles heels so far this season, but the one that's perpetuated through his whole career is shot from the point, can't see through the traffic in the back of the net. So Where's Waldo? Just train him to see through a crowd a little bit. I don't know if we can get a Where's Waldo made customized where instead of Waldo, it's a puck, but work in progress on that one. The other one that's more serious, like that one's kind of a goof, but like the more serious one, you know that cat poster that's hanging there, the cat hanging from like a bar? Because he's done too much good stuff for it to be over like this. You know what I mean? And when I say over like this, a lot of people have written off Sam Montembeault, and I think it's too early to do that.
I know I've mentioned it a couple times on the podcast, and it really hasn't come up in the more like main Montreal Canadiens Discord or discourse about if there's any lingering effects of the groin injury, where I think he tears 2 muscles in game 3. We don't see him again. Dobesh finishes the series. If there's anything lingering from that, I don't personally pay enough attention to the guys in the locker room when the media is there and they're asking them random little questions, because 95% of it, I know you agree, is completely useless, but there's probably 5% of nuggets in there that are actually quite useful.
Right.
I just don't have the patience really to sift through all the uselessness, especially with Monty. He talks so fast. I'm sure you'd miss like an extra
that's true,
few points on it.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, like, I wonder if someone's asked them that, like, hey, like, are you doing anything differently? Do you feel like you can't move as well, or is there a mental block there? Is it like, is it more of a sports psychology thing of like, I don't want to do the same move I did that caused it to tear? I don't know. I'm completely speaking out of out of turn here. Like I haven't seen it come up like from one of the main institutions in RDS, TV Sport, the Sick podcast, or what, any of the Basu Godin. I don't think I've mentioned it. Like, not that I've like followed every one of those media outlets so closely. I may have missed it, but I feel like I would have seen it by now.
The thing is, man, like we pay attention to so much stuff. Like you said, you look at all these outlets, all these interviews, everything else. Like that would have been a headline story for Montreal Canadiens if we knew what was causing his issues. So like exactly, and I think also if that question were to be asked, which by the way, that would be a phenomenal question for a reporter to ask, because the answer would no doubt be insightful. The problem is the answer being insightful means that other teams know the answer now. And so if it is a physical issue and it's a lower body thing and they go, oh, let's shoot low or whatever it is, like you get the idea. Like you don't want, it's the same way that like teams don't divulge injuries because they think that the Florida Panthers is a great example, will come at you because, you know, you had a torn something or other in your elbow. Well, maybe they're going to start targeting your upper body to try and get that elbow out of whack.
I agree. And that's a good point to bring up. I do wonder if we get to the end of the season and there's the end of year press conference, if that might be the time where he's like, yeah, you know what?
Right.
All things considered, like, I mean, he's been healthy enough to play. So I don't think it's like a re-aggravation thing. I just wonder if it's a hesitation. So being a little bit timid to move one way or another. Anyways, Monty, hang in there. Find yourself, find Waldo.
Yeah. I
know that wasn't the point, the meta point, but I thought it was funny. You're using Where's Waldo to like find Waldo in terms of identifying pucks, maybe identifying yourself. Maybe it's a story of self-exploration.
Jordan, way to bring it all together, buddy. We should have closed on that. I have more gifts to give. What are you doing?
I have so many dumber gifts. I'm getting a lava lamp for Jacob Fowler.
A lava lamp? Okay.
Just, hey, slow things down. Take your time. Meditate. People are going to try to rush you in. I have a similar gift for another prospect we'll get to later. But I just thought, hey, man, just like, look, this is Mr. Pressure is a Privilege. So I don't doubt that he is not in this zone already, but take it easy, step by step. People want to rush you. Look at the lava lamp. The lava lamp is fluid. It looks cool. You can get lost staring at it for hours. Like, I know I had one in my bedroom growing up and it was sick and not allowed to get one now. So that's a bummer. But yeah, no, Lava Lamp, Jacob Fowler, just like, it's very much just like exhale.
Patient. Yeah.
It's okay. You're fine. You're doing great. I've said he's passed every single test so far. Take it easy a bit. That's all.
Yep. I don't know if you know this about me. I am very well connected. Extremely well connected, especially in Europe. Scandinavian countries, especially, like all over the place, really. But there's one place in particular that I have a lot of pull. I happen to know somebody very high up in the Slovakian government who is able to put something through for me. Okay. It pains me terribly that Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Lane Hudson, Ivan Demidov, these 4 guys are going to get slighted from their respective countries from playing in the Olympics. All for kind of different reasons, right? Caulfield, it's its size. Suzuki, there's 1,000 guys. You know, Caulfield, kind of the same story. Demidov, because the guy who runs his country is an ass. There's a plethora of reasons. But what I did, knowing people in the Slovakian government, I got them all dual citizenship for Slovakia so that they can all play with Juraj Slavkovsky in this upcoming Olympics. And go Slovakia, go.
Okay. All right. I can see that. Now, I should probably know this. What group is Slovakia in? Because
that's a good question. I'll look that up right now.
Yeah, because I'm wondering this can also be a bit of a sleeper agent thing. If we can somehow pit Slovakia on the US side of the bracket once we get to the quarters. So I'm wondering if there's something we can do here. Now, we don't say that too loud so Cole and Lane don't hear us.
Right.
But maybe it's a revenge thing for them. Maybe it's a revenge tour on their end. Right? And then Nick can just, whatever. Okay. I mean, I didn't know you were this plugged in. I might have some questions for you after the pod, but.
So to answer your question, Slovakia, Finland, Sweden, Italy.
Okay. See, sleeper agent. You can knock out one of the big dogs.
Yep.
That's what I see.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I see there. Okay. I like it. Next on the list, I'm getting Brendan Gallagher a heated blanket because my man, I'm sure, is super sore after every game right now. So it's one of these new blankets. You throw them on, you hit the button, and it's like, you just get warm and toasty and like your whole body starts to just mellow out a bit. So listen, we've been a bit hard on Gallagher. I fear we're going to continue to be hard on Gally for the rest of the season, but doesn't mean we don't care. So get Gally a heated blanket. The nights are cold right now.
Yep.
And I'm sure after, there's a lot of 3 games in 4 nights. There's a lot of back-to-backs. And we know one thing about Brendan Gallagher. He's never going to back down. He's never going to turn down a shift, but he is going to be sore. So let's get you a heated blanket and hopefully it helps ease some of the pain.
For sure. You know that story about Patrick Marleau and how he would do an ice bath, not after games, in between periods?
We're getting there.
That's unbelievable. You were getting, okay, jump to that right now, please.
Yeah. So I was trying to land on who without, because I already did the gal. We try to keep it to 1 gift per guy here. We're trying to spread the ball around here. And I landed on Mike Matheson. You brought up Matheson for other reasons. Matheson, we're like, hey, it's great. Listen, man, you're off power play 1. Noah Dobson's in town. You're going to play 20 minutes a night. You're going to be fine. It's not. He's playing 25 minutes a night. And I think, so the idea was along the lines, yes, an ice bath, but I was trying to figure out, like, how do we deal with this for away games if it's a gift? Are we just putting it at the Bell Center? Is it specific just to the Bell Center?
It's got to be a portable thing, man. He can't be.
Yeah, okay.
He can't be having rough third periods away and not at home.
Right. So that's the deal. I think along the lines, I think Gally needs it after the game. I think Matheson's playing literally double the minutes that Brendan Gallagher is playing. He needs a bit more immediate attention, I think.
Very nice. And tough minutes too. Like taking him off the power play for just as many minutes, if not more, doesn't help because power play are easy minutes. He's playing all the tough stuff. So you are very thoughtful and you like thinking about each individual member and giving them each a gift. I'm not so good at that. So I got something for everybody. Cool. You'll remember for a little bit of lore, Habsland pod lore. Jordan and I went to high school together. He was a good student. I was not. In high, I don't remember what year, but there were these agendas that were given out, which you definitely used. I would imagine you probably still remember it.
Every year we got an agenda, by the way.
No, but there was a special one from Tandem, which incidentally, my tutor, it was his company, Sebastian, if you're out there. Great dude, helped me a lot, helped me focus. Needed that bad. But in high school, he brought like these kind of agendas, maybe assignment organizers, maybe a better term, where like you keep your stuff organized. You see when dates are coming. I'm getting this for the entire team because I'm tired of missed assignments.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's a pun.
Well done.
It's a shitty pun.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Anyway,
Fair.
just like missed assignments in the defensive zone are killing the Montreal Canadiens right now. I saw a lot about like, oh, the Blues game at the beginning of the week. They actually tightened it up. Sure, they still lost that game, but like it's not enough. They really need to figure this thing out.
Can I go off the board for a second?
Please?
Or this is going to be a first and holiday wish list. I'm going to get it for an ex-Hab.
Okay.
I'm going to get Emil Heineman some St. Viator bagels.
Oh, give him the taste of Montreal. Try and bring him back home.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, he has to deal with those terrible New York bagels, which is someone who lived there for a year. Those aren't bagels. Those are just sandwiches with holes in the middle.
Yeah, it's just bread.
So, have a real bagel, Emil. I know he's in Long Island. It's a bit different, but I miss him. I know you miss him.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, send him baker's dozen. Okay, I got a bunch more actually, so maybe I can pick up the pace a bit. I'm going to get Patrick Laine a vinyl of Tyler, the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost album. I can provide some context because I see your perplexed face. So this is a 2021 album from Tyler, the Creator. It is a breakup album where the protagonist, which is played by Tyler, the Creator, as Tyler Baudelaire, basically he's sad that it's over, but he's also like, I rule, I rock, I'm going to be all right. Listen, with Patty Laine, it's not working out. We kind of saw it happening towards the end of last year. In the little time he played this season before getting hurt, it wasn't working out. And you and I had talked openly about like, I don't know if there's a spot for him. It was him and Newhook, right? Like, I think there's only one spot for one of these guys, and Newhook snatched that spot and did not give it up until he got hurt. I don't think it's working out for Laine. I think everyone knows that. So he's awesome. He should still be in the NHL next year. Right. I don't think it's going to be here. So I think there's a breakup happening, but like throw on Tyler, you're going to be great. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Go Patty.
Yeah. And hopefully find another organization where you can be well utilized, because it is really a fit thing. We're not just, we're getting on him because he's hurt, but prior to the injury, it didn't fit. It didn't fit at 5-on-5, and our power play is good enough to not need a guy like Patty Laine. Whereas you could count on more than two hands and feet, the amount of power play units in the NHL, first units that would love to have Patty Laine at the top of the circle in OV's spot. So absolutely, all the best to Patty Laine. And look, he will be back for the Habs at some point this season, and we will see like, hey, who knows? Maybe the fit will be better at that point.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he'll certainly be back before Alex Newhook, or at least that's the expectation. So at this point, we need forwards. We've been talking about it. So I think there's a place for him in the lineup for now, but not for long, sadly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got about half a dozen left somehow.
Okay, you do one or two. I think I got two left, if I'm counting this correctly. So you reel off a couple, buddy.
Noah Dobson getting you a spare tire for the inevitable pothole you drive over. This is your first winter in Montreal.
Very nice.
Bless you, friend. Like, I was trying to figure out a welcome to Montreal gift for Noah Dobson for Dobby. And that spare tire where it'll get you. For Oliver Kapanen, the book Nevermore: The Trials of Morgan Crow. There's no double meaning here. I just think it's a wonderful book that I read this year, and I feel like Oliver Kapanen might enjoy it. That's all. Okay. There's no deeper meaning.
Okay.
Full book. Enjoy it.
Does it pertain to his play particularly, or just?
You know what? Here, if I can stretch an analogy into this. But I've never been known to do that.
Is it basketball? Is it a basketball analogy?
It's not.
Okay, good.
No,
all right. Keep going.
So in 2007, after the Raptors traded, no, I'm kidding. The book is about someone who believes they are told entirely they're unspectacular, but someone believes in them, community gets behind them, and it turns out they are a very special type of person with great abilities, and they just have to believe in it. It's right down the alley of Oliver Kapanen, keep your head down, do your work, you're a special dude. You're a second line center, by the way, in your rookie season.
Yeah.
We're not making, I think we talked about it a couple weeks back about like what's getting missed. And I think it's Kapanen as 2C so far, basically through almost 30 games or around 30 games. Yeah, we're not focusing on that. Yeah.
make no mistake, he's there by necessity. At least he was initially.
Yeah.
But he's certainly not sinking.
Right.
A second line center is a sink or swim position. If you start sinking even slightly, get the hell out of the top 6. And that hasn't happened for Kapanen yet. So keep swimming, buddy.
Yeah. All right. So couple more here. Oh, so for all of the Laval guys, Beck, Flo, Davidson, Roy, Engstrom, all the other guys, get just like a laser tag pass. Feels like that's going to be another deep run for the Rocket. Let's have some team building going on here.
Yeah, I like that.
Get the boys to hang out together a bit. Have a good night out. They are, tops in their division in the North again. Conference finalists last year before they got wrecked in the conference final. But hey, Jacob Fowler's there first full season. All the other guys are there. Should be a promising year. So let's continue to build on that on and off the ice.
Very nice. On the topic of like team building, I have one that I just couldn't think. I just love the gift itself, and I couldn't think of anyone specific to give it to. But whoever wants to come, I will be hosting an MVP Most Valuable Primate movie viewing party. Do you remember that movie, The Monkey?
Yeah.
There's a chimpanzee who learns to play hockey or something, and then I don't know. That movie popped into my head today. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's the best. Watch that this holiday season, folks. You will not be disappointed. That's
amazing. So you're hosting a watch party? Is that what it is?
Sure, whatever. I don't care. I just wanted an excuse to mention this movie.
Yeah. Free Twizzlers for everybody that shows up to Brian's. I love it.
Can't
okay,
wait.
Got 3 more. I'm going to compliment sandwich them because one of them is maybe not the nicest.
Okay.
You already mentioned noise canceling headphones earlier. I'm going to get it for someone different. It's along the lines of the lava lamp. Michael Hage. Let's just make sure he doesn't hear all the hype. Doesn't listen to it. And there's a lot of hope also around Michael Hage right now. Run your own race, figure your own stuff out, do your second year in Michigan. You'll be here at the end of the year or in Laval or both probably. Just, noise canceling headphones. There is so much like Fowler is one thing. And I find this especially as a team has gotten into this like bubble playoff team zone the last 8 to 12 months. Demidov was one thing. Demidov is a different level prospect. But all the other guys I find are very much like, there's almost a different type of expectation I find of on the newer, even Jarofsky's another one where it's like people I find are not, he's playing great in the KHL, but like there's a bit different elevation and different expectation with these guys. We're like, well, they're obviously going to be on the team here. And like, these are prospects. How many times do we have to go over this? Yeah. Right.
I think so. The cause of that, if I can interrupt quickly, it's often when the team starts getting good that, and at least in the past, the organization felt very tempted and compelled at times to bring up a prospect because the team's getting good and we need this guy. I'm thinking like Galchenyuk, Kotkaniemi. So you bring them up too early. And like, I like that this management group doesn't feel that way. Like, yes, there's hype, there's hope. There's also hysterics always among Montreal Canadiens fans and the media and everything. So like, excellent gift. Hage needs this. Jarofsky probably needs this. Because there's also some negativity too, especially with Hage. All the people, he playing much more wing now. Is he going to pan out as a centerman in the NHL? Like, he's so young, these shouldn't be the questions yet. Is he having fun playing hockey? How about that question? That's an important question too.
Yeah. Will he make the World Junior team?
Yeah.
It's on the board now.
Yeah.
It's potential. So, that's the more important stuff. I agree to ask. Okay, got 2 left. Let me do my slightly sad one, and then I can kick it to you if you have anything left before we close out with my favorite one. I'm going to get a Switzerland eSIM card for Riley Kidney. I think it's over. I think we can he's in Trois-Rivières. He's not even with the Rocket anymore. So I think we can call it quits on this one. It was fun to track him, and especially D+2, where he was just putting up all kinds of points in the queue. I think we all knew it wasn't going to translate. They gave him the contract. No harm, no foul. Didn't work out. I think he's not getting a contract next year. And off you go to Europe. I'm sure you can find like some of these guys, they can play 5, 6, 7 years in Europe. I don't see why Riley Kidney wouldn't try it. I don't know if anyone would even bother giving him an NHL contract not an NHL contract. It's a minor league contract.
Right.
At that point, man, just go to Europe, live there for 5 years in your 20s, and then come back and figure life out.
Your play style and your size might actually translate better to a less violent game too. So that could be a recipe for success over there. There's thousands, probably tens, hundreds of thousands of hockey players at this point who have gone elsewhere and made themselves amazing careers and great lives in other places. So yeah, totally. I like that a lot. I do have one last one that I'll jump to before you do your favorite one, and I can't wait for that.
Mm.
This is another goofy one. It's another mirror. So I got those clip mirrors. I found another mirror. You know those mirrors that they have in shoe stores so that you could see what the shoe looks like. I think Seinfeld has a bit about, like, if you want to see what an ant thinks of your shoes, you can look in those mirrors. I'm gonna get Martin St. Louis one of those, but it's just a little higher so he can see his calves. Him running up and down. I think about it like daily, like when I'm kind of feeling bad about myself because I haven't exercised in weeks/months, and I think about Martin St. Louis, this retired player who has a steady job, doesn't need to do it, and he's running up and down the arena steps in every arena he's in. I don't know, it might be nice for him to see the results of that.
How long does he have to stretch though to like just make sure there's no like that lactic acid buildup doesn't go in the calves? Like he has to be doing
at his age, it must be a lot. Like I remember having to stretch at like 16 playing soccer. How old is he? He's like 48 at this point.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so last one for me on the board, and I want you to help me figure out who to give this to. I have 3 guys in mind: the Jack Bros and the Yuri Slavkovsky.
Okay.
So I want to get them it's called the Pit Walk at the Canadian Grand Prix at the end of May. So this is not the race. I don't have money for that. What this is though, this is on the Thursday before the race. They usually let people walk through pit lane. And what you see when you're on pit lane is you realize, more specifically, it is not just the driver. It is not just the vehicle. There are close to 100 people, maybe 50 to 60 per driver that are there. And they all have their own jobs to do. They all have their own responsibilities, and they all have to work together and communicate. So that's Thursday, right? By the time they get to Sunday, they're doing the best that they can. They all have their assignments. So just go through that pit lane, do the pit walk, and see how many people are involved in winning something. And it might be more than what you just see. Sometimes we see who has the game-winning goal. We see who has the shutout. We know there's 20 guys on the ice. Well, 19 plus the goalie, whatever. So I thought about Arbor Jack. I honestly was the first guy I thought of with this. And I said, you know what, like, there's a role to play somewhere here. I know I was hard on him a few weeks ago, but I think there's a role here. And then I thought of Florian Jack, and I'm like, there's going to be a very similar story here as well. And then I thought of Slav as well. And maybe Slav is just elevating to become the main guy, but Slav has been very good as like understanding like, oh, I got to do this on this line. I got to do that on that line. So those are the first few guys that kind of came to mind. Does that sound like the right trio?
That's amazing, really well thought out, very thoughtful. Definitely for the Jack brothers. I think for Slav, it's obviously too early to tell, but historically he has been a complementary piece to Suzuki, Caulfield, even Demidov and Kapanen more recently. But he's quickly turning into the third wheel of that tricycle, and each wheel is as important. The stability of that line, we saw what happened when he was removed from it. It was a bike where bikes still go when they're going. So that's a terrible analogy, Brian, but like you get the idea. The structural integrity of a triangle, you need all 3 corners, and Slav is one of those corners in that triangle of the first line. That's so important. The other 2 guys play better with him than with anybody else. I think for guys like Bolduc, this would be really good. I think Veleno's kind of figured that out already. He said it coming in his kind of opening interviews with the Habs media. It was like, I'm going to try and cut out a role for myself on this team. Alexandre Texier, same thing. Like all these guys have to do it. That's a really good gift for almost anybody who's a part of a hockey team, any type of team, to know, like, you know, there's more to this than just the stars.
Yeah, I love Bolduc as a guy here. That might be, honestly, after Jack Senior, I think Bolduc might be the next best guy, and then Florian, why not? Let's just, everybody goes. Yeah, I think understanding that there's many parts of the team and there's a lot of things that work well together. And sometimes with these guys, man, like, and I'm sure someone like Bolduc has adapted, but you are the star for so long, relatively speaking, in his hockey career, age 12, 13, 14, 15, no, all the way to 18, 19. And then there's like a quick shift of middle 6 all of a sudden, or bottom 6, depending on how St. Louis feels about you. It's a quick change. And it's just maybe to get that perspective of there's a lot of people involved to do what you ultimately want to do, which is win. So
yeah, very nice. Let's close on that. Why don't we? That's I think that's the gift of the day.
Yeah. All right. Well, sounds good. We can wrap it there. You can follow us on social media at HabsLandPod If you like what you hear, feel free to leave a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And until next Monday, go Habs.